Well, hey, welcome back to the North Florida Sports Network.
All right, we're back again. The North Florida Sports Network. It's just another football Monday. It's November 27th, 2023. We're going to talk about everything. All the football from this last weekend. It was a great weekend of Thanksgiving weekend, of rivalry weekend. A lot of big games. Rankings will come out for the last time on Tuesday, and then they'll have the final rankings this Sunday. We're going to talk about it. We're going to do some speculation. Some coaches already been hired.
And fired.
We got some unrealized moments to talk about and go through. It's going to be a great show. If you haven't done so, you need to download and subscribe. You can get the podcast anywhere. It's available everywhere. It's Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon, Google, everywhere. You can watch the show on YouTube. You can listen to the podcast on YouTube. Hit that like button. Smash it. Subscribe. But it's just another big football Monday. Lots to get to. But we're right here in North Florida, so we're going to start right with the Sunshine Showdown.
How sweet it is.
Yep, 12-0 for the fourth time in program history.
Back-to-back state titles.
Florida State with the backup quarterback, Tate Roddemaker, stepped in, resilient. No, I think it's more what he didn't do that sticks out.
Yeah.
You know, and I think Herb Street mentioned that on the broadcast. It's whoever doesn't make the mistake, and I don't, you know, and then Florida State's defense was lights out. I mean, literally, lights almost negatively out.
Yeah, man. They just they put the clamp down the last 20 minutes of the game.
What happened? -8 yards?
Correct.
The last 20 minutes of the contest for the Gators at home.
Yeah, just overwhelmed them. And when you got a,
I guess ugly wins don't count unless they're in the Big Ten.
Yeah,
because I mean,
we can get into that.
No, whatever, man. It's Football Monday. I'm not on a national show like Matt Berry is.
Yeah,
who hosts one, and he gets to put his top 6.
What did Galloway have?
They both had the same 4 undefeated teams. The obvious choice was the 4 undefeated teams. It was just
so Matt Berry went.
So he put Florida State 6.
The shill answer. Yeah,
and used the Tate Roddemaker excuse because of what he saw. But in the end of the day, you had Georgia beat Georgia Tech by 8. You know,
right? And
so I mean, Washington sneaked by a Washington State team. Who, what's their record? You know, and that was at home,
5-7, just like Florida.
Right. So I just because you don't get the stars you want in the show, that just shows you it's a TV show.
Yeah, I think that
bull crap.
I think you're right about that.
It
has everything to do with it. Is you know, we can't sell Tate Roddemaker.
Has there ever been an undefeated team get jumped by a one-loss team? Well, yeah. But has there been another one
since?
Yeah.
No, game control has never been used.
So I wonder why FSU fans feel like this.
Well,
I mean, no wonder. I mean, I get it. And they're going to get defensive because, I mean, they're the only team that's ever happened to. That just doesn't happen to Alabama or Ohio State or Florida or anybody, but Florida hadn't gotten there. But anybody that would, if they were going to go undefeated. And it just happens this year you have more teams that are eligible. But right now it's about as easy as it gets.
Yeah, well, my best advice to Florida State fans is to just not worry about it.
Yeah.
Until if and when the team goes undefeated, should they beat Louisville Saturday, finish the season undefeated, and then actually land outside of the top 4, then feel free to bitch because it will be unfair. But right now, I will not be surprised when they put Oregon at number 4.
Is that what you?
Yeah, I expect Tuesday. I can see it happening, man. They're trying to set up the championship Saturday. You know, they're going to have number 4 versus number 3,
so they can be an automatic.
Yeah, so it's an automatic chance to go to the playoff on the line.
And they already have the precedent of jumping an undefeated team.
Right. I think
that's what I'd be worried about.
I think the fan base that needs to feel the least confident and the most gypped right now are Texas fans, because essentially their win over Alabama is really looking like it's not going to mean a whole lot.
Man, I mean, you look at that. Alabama, they should have lost, but they didn't. They came up with a big play. It was a hell of a throw.
Yeah, that was insane.
You don't drop 2. You got to put some pressure on that kid. He can run it.
Well,
you know, spine and just rush him.
The defensive back made a horrible play.
Yeah, I know, but
I get it.
Can't let him have all that time to rear up and throw it.
No, not when he can throw it like that. You know, he may not have the best touch and the most, you know, the best ability to read defenses, you know, the whole field and stuff like that. But one thing that is unquestionable is the fact that he can absolutely uncork it.
Yeah, and he did
right there. He threw it towards the back pylon and he put it right on the line, man.
He uncorked it.
Yeah,
right in the corner, and to the delight of Fowler and Herbstreit, as everyone saw before the game. But I mean, I don't think I was cheering, but that brings Alabama into question. I mean, they still have to take care of business, and this is just speculation. All of it. Well, and you have a championship to play for.
I'm going to be honest with you, man. Like if a team beats Georgia for a conference title, and you know they only have one loss, like I don't have a problem with Alabama winning the SEC and going to the playoff. My issue would be if they decided that, hey, Georgia gets to go too.
Yeah. Well, that's where I was like, I've never even thought of that, but
right.
If you lose this year, I mean, it didn't like it. It shouldn't have mattered just because they did that when they got their first championship. Georgia did. So that was, but that shouldn't be the case. You know, those championships in regular season, it should mean something.
Right.
Losing that close to the end of the season.
Right. When you have the potential
in the rivalry game, imagine this. Beating Florida, right? And then having them get a chance to rematch that for the national championship. Are you kidding me? That happened, as everyone knows, but
yeah, and it took some things unfolding, you know, and that's
going to happen.
That's back when the Bowl Coalition still existed.
Right.
Who was it? Was it Arizona State that could have finished undefeated and
they did.
They
lost if they would have, but they had to go to the Rose Bowl.
Yeah. Well,
because they had the automatic Pac-12 champion goes to the Rose Bowl. That was the problem then. That's the only reason they got the championship. They had 2 undefeated teams. It's just they had to go to play different teams because of their Rose Bowl alliance. It's stupid. But anyway, you go back and you look at the game Saturday with FSU, and it was an ugly game, but you thought it was going to be that, man. Your emotions were at a high, and I thought the difference of the game in the end was one team was mature and disciplined, one team wasn't.
Yeah.
At crucial times, it killed Florida.
It did.
Both penalties that they literally lost their cool and showed undisciplined care. There was one play I could see the Florida defender just like hit the coach out of the way.
Yeah.
You know, like,
that was
those are the little things, man. This is Mike Norvell is paying off. He's working hard behind the scenes.
Right. There was a team that kept their composure and the other team didn't.
At home,
that was
an emotional game.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Trying to knock the quarterback out at that point of the game.
Yeah, that was killer.
That was crucial.
Yeah.
I mean, and then you're gonna do nothing but fire up everyone on the other team.
Right.
And hurt your own team because you just gave them a first down.
And
it was absolutely
I'm pretty sure
atrocious.
2-3 plays later after that play is when Pinson scored his 3rd touchdown.
Yeah.
And ended it.
Right. So that was
the game right there. That was, they would have been getting the ball back down 2.
But I don't know if they would have done anything because that defense.
Well, they hadn't done anything up to that point.
Yeah, and they got the first touchdown off an atrocious call, an unnecessary roughness where they didn't call targeting, but threw a flag, so they didn't get to replay it, but they could just call unnecessary roughness for hitting. It didn't make any sense. They deserve explanation. That's why I wish McDonough was on the call.
Yeah.
I want an explanation. I love how he asked for the explanation because he should. I mean, we're all watching the same thing.
Yeah.
Especially when they slow it down on these replays. With the TVs they have nowadays, you can see everything.
Yeah, they would not have had an explanation, and it wouldn't have mattered. Once they throw the flag and mark it off, you're not getting it back.
That's true, but I mean, at a crucial point in the game to throw that kind of flag. But if you were to throw that kind of flag, it should have been a call targeting. Like that. I mean, something. Why else would it be because otherwise he just hit him too hard. Giving him the business, as Ron Cherry said that one time.
Giving him the business.
Might as well just been that call. But it's 12-0.
It is,
and it just what you're saying is,
and you gotta
don't be surprised if Florida State's ranked 5th.
Yeah,
and Oregon's 4th.
Yeah. I would not be surprised.
They went home and beat Oregon State.
I mean, I guess that was impressive. What did Oregon State?
I'm just saying, whose coach is already.
Yeah, they found out like an hour through social media that he was out of there. Yeah.
I mean, this is all too much politicking, man. It's football. I mean, if you're going to get paid, which they are, at least let's do some sort of playoff scenario where you get in based on wins, and then or tiebreaker scenarios where it's settled on something you did on the field. Like, this is ridiculous. That you're gonna go undefeated. If they're going to go ahead and rank Oregon, I know what you're talking about. They want to have Washington and Oregon automatically, no debate, are getting in.
Right.
But it's not right. They lost the game.
Yeah. They'll get a chance to avenge their loss. If they win, they're going to go.
Right. They don't need to jump an undefeated team. They can make them jump. They can jump Florida State next week. But, don't make a buffoonery of the rankings by doing it this week just to.
I think that's what they're kind of, like you said, they're positioning that for. In case Oregon wins,
what if Alabama wins?
That's when everything gets really, really, really dicey.
Yeah.
And it always has been. The only real conference.
What if Florida State wins another ugly match against Louisville where Tate doesn't turn the ball over? But he doesn't look like Jordan Travis.
Again,
the defense balls out, and Trey Benson has 3 touchdowns.
Well, I think the only
the
only way optics come into it, and having it be an ugly win is again, if you're talking about Alabama beating Georgia, the SEC is the only conference that's going to have a shot at getting 2 teams in. Always and forever. It's never been any different.
Well, the Big Ten got 2 teams.
Yeah, I know, but not this year. There was
Ohio State.
Ohio State's done. Man.
Well, they ranked them 6th in the AP, if it's any. AP and the coaches both have FSU 4. It seems obvious,
right? If
you have 4 undefeated teams.
Now Louisville beats Florida State, and then it gets the teams with 1 loss start really starting to duke it out to see who's going to get that spot.
If you set the precedent this Tuesday of putting a 1-loss team. Whatever, you got to win a championship. You got a championship on the line.
They've done it before, man.
I know. They've done it before with 1 team.
Yeah, and that was the team that started the season number 1 and was still unbeaten.
They didn't have a quarterback out, and they did it to them. They just like the way they were winning.
Yeah, so they can do whatever they want. I won't be surprised.
But you play to win the game. Unless it's college, you play to win.
Right. Well, right now it's about selling the matchups, and they're trying to sell the QBs. You got Bo Nix versus Penix.
I mean, still 4 versus 5 or 3 versus 5. I mean, the winner is going to get to 4.
Right, but they want the winner to be able to stay right there at number 3.
Mm-hmm. So they can get that Big Ten.
Yeah, it's all about
matchup.
It's all about what happens after the championship, where we're going to rank these teams.
Right. Right now, all teams win. We've said it. It's going to be Florida State would go at 4, play Georgia.
Yeah.
Washington.
Washington or Oregon will be right there at 3, playing Michigan. Because, you're assuming
they're going ahead. That would be the reason they rank Oregon ahead of Florida State.
Yeah, you get that traditional match.
But I don't give a crap. Wait till the week Wait till Sunday to release that. Then you can be like, yeah, that win against Washington was more impressive against win against Louisville.
Yeah,
that's perfect.
I mean, but at the same time, you're just kind of splitting hairs.
I know, but between a loss, though, that's what I'm trying to say is like, I don't think you need to go ahead and set the precedent of one loss.
You're looking at it right now.
You're disrespecting the game.
Oregon was already ranked. What are our favorite? What 9.5 points over Washington this week? Like they fully expect Oregon to beat Washington and kind of just cancel that loss out.
Yeah,
that's what's going to work in Oregon's favor. That's what's not going to help Texas is they're not going to get another shot at Oklahoma. And even if they did, Oklahoma's not undefeated,
right,
and ranked number 3 in the country.
Well, you just don't want to tell people just handle your business, and then you don't. You do, and then you don't get to tell, you don't get to celebrate, or you don't get the right to go. It would be hilarious.
I think a lot of the idea that Florida State going 13-0 could still get left out is getting pushed by just ESPN and just that kind of affiliated media team out there. You see a lot of people who aren't under the ESPN umbrella that say that it's pretty ridiculous to even consider that.
Yeah, it is.
So until it actually happens, I would just try to ignore as much ESPN and Matt Berry trash as you can. Number 6, guy's out of his mind. Should be hosting Inside Tonight or something in sports. Whatever.
Well, yeah, but then man, Alabama did get saved. That was a hell of a play. That's going to 10 years.
That's another thing, man. It's like you're playing a team that just got blown out at home by New Mexico State, and you need a muffed punt. Just the worst muffed punt I've ever seen. And then the most unlikely 4th down Hail Mary after an atrocious play by Milroe, where he just goes walkabout, lets the ball go right by him. Yeah. They lose like 17 yards on that play. And nobody's really talking about it. It's just, oh man, Alabama, here they are. Nick Saban again. They got him looking great. I don't think they'll beat Georgia.
No.
So I don't think it's going to matter. They can. I don't think they will.
That's about 5 right now, I think.
Yeah. I think this is
Georgia's favored 5-5. I'd take Georgia in the points.
Yeah.
Initially.
I mean, I just don't see anybody beating Georgia. Barring injuries or anything like that.
Well, we'll see. I don't think Jalen Milroe can carve up that secondary. I think they're going to be too easy for Georgia to identify, and Georgia's going to shut it down.
Yeah, and one thing is Georgia's not just going to sit there and let him, sit back in the pocket and kind of run around. They're going to bring guys after him. They're going to force the issue. He's either going to have to tuck it and run or make quick decisions throwing it. Neither one is really a great idea against that defense, so we'll see. But he is also a nightmare to deal with. If you're playing against them, it's going to be a really good game.
Let's go back to Florida State because I want to talk more about Trey Benson and just
special guy right there.
He is. He's put together.
He's not going to have the stats that go with guys like Dalvin Cook and Warwick Dunn, but that dude is like
clutch.
Yeah, that last run against Florida, his touchdown run against Miami. You're just like, if you look, like they give him a little bit of space, the line finally make him whole. He gets to that 2nd and 3rd level and he's just doing it all himself.
Yeah.
If it's not, and he can break tackles, but he's shaking guys and just running past defensive backs. He's special back, man.
He is.
You got to just make him the workhorse for the rest of the season. That's going to be.
Well, yeah.
I mean, you got to throw the ball and stuff like that, but like we were saying, you got to let him get his 2 or 3 carries in a row where he's going to lose yardage.
Yeah.
And then the next 2 carries, he's going to get 100 yards and a touchdown type of stuff. So,
I mean, that's just to be expected, man. You get out there, Tate, you're at the swamp at night. It doesn't take a while. He looked a little better when they hurried things up.
Yeah.
When they just need to do that more, get him more comfortable. I think he looked a little bit tentative, but like I said, it's better to be, you're not sure, don't throw it. You know what I mean? And rely on that defense and rely on Trey Benson. And he did. and he didn't mess it up.
Yeah.
And he made a couple good throws.
He had a couple drops, man, that would have...
Yeah, he had some drops. He had a drop in the end zone.
It would have had him over 50%. Wouldn't have been a great, in terms of accuracy, completion percentage. It would have been better than what it was. I mean, he was 12 of 25. But, the only thing that concerned me with the way he played is just he didn't really operate at the same pace. So it looked a little bit slow, the delay games and stuff like that.
Jordan Travis is a special player.
Yeah, but I can assume that maybe he'll get a little bit more comfortable. That'll be less of an issue in this game. Hopefully, you're not in the swamp.
Yeah,
you just went live against one of the toughest situations you're ever going to face. So,
right,
and you've played this team before.
Yeah,
albeit a different coaching staff, inferior coaching staff, but still, yeah.
What's the matter? You're not a fan of
Scott Satterfield? No, not at all.
Yeah.
It says something when a guy can bring in a transfer QB, two-time transfer QB, and that's about it, and then have a team with this kind of success. Now, granted, they still lost a couple games they shouldn't have lost, but again, you're talking about a team that, they won 6 games last year? Mm-hmm. With a dynamic quarterback.
Yeah.
All Brom did is just got a guy in there that can be consistent.
They blew it Saturday at home against Louisville, and Stoopsy
coaching for his life. How about that?
Yeah, so
I don't know. Either Texas A&M got turned down by Stoops,
but they wanted to hire Stoops and he turned them down, or what?
Or there was
Texas A&M. No, we didn't want you.
I think, yeah. And then there's a story out there that their AD Ross Bjork kind of pulled a fast one on part of the booster group there. They kind of got a coach approved and then went and hired his buddy. I don't know, man. It's weird though, because Stoops was being reported and then all of a sudden it wasn't going to happen, and now it's Mike Elko. So there you go.
Yeah, that's what we thought it would be. Mike Elko. It makes sense, but it's crazy. The D coordinator of the guy that you just fired, you hired the DC that he had hired initially when he got the job.
Well, you essentially you were going after 2 former Jimbo defensive coordinators.
2 former DCs of the guy you just fired.
Right. They went with a guy with experience in College Station.
It's crazy, man.
I would look. Yeah, it's gonna get crazy. I would look for Riley Leonard to head to Notre Dame.
Wow.
Yeah, Duke will. Who knows who Duke's gonna hire? They may look at Willie Fritz.
It's a farm system for Notre Dame.
Yeah.
All those schools, Duke, Wake Forest. Get a good quarterback, he's going to Notre Dame.
Yeah, well, they'll go down there and sell those academics. I tell you what.
It seems to be like what Notre Dame's just like the leader of the pack. Yeah. Hey, we're not going to come, but go get Stanford. They'll come, and then we'll play them in Cal.
They do what they want, man.
Yep.
And they got network power.
It's true. That is true.
But it's going to be a wild offseason, man. Coaching hires, transfers, stuff like that. I wouldn't rule out Florida State getting in the QB transfer market.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I wouldn't shock me. I feel confident that AJ Duffy will move on. That means you're going into the season with 3 quarterbacks. Rodemaker, we'll see how he looks as he continues to go, but after that, you got freshmen essentially. Brock Lynn, very little experience. Luke Kromenhoek.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it would be like a high-end starter as much as just a guy that can...
Depth.
Yeah, but at the same time, you may not have what you want to have out of that 3. So,
how did you feel about Tate's performance after looking back at it?
He can make the throws. He just... it's clearly that he's not operating as quickly as he needs to. Some of those plays that didn't hit were because he was moving a little too slow.
Yeah.
The biggest one, man, early in the game, Coleman out of the backfield.
Right. He was wide.
Yeah, wide open.
Wasn't trusting it.
Those quick screen games, he's a little too slow on that. You got to be quick. Otherwise, you're giving, like you saw, you're giving the defense a chance to blow it up, get back there and make a negative play.
But I just had to scratch that.
Yeah, you'll feel it out, but
see what he's good at.
He can push it down the field, man. I mean, he made some really nice throws.
Yeah.
in big moments. Like
Right.
that 4th and 3 to Ja'Kai Douglas, not enough is being made about that.
That was a huge
Both
play.
players. Huge
Guy
throw,
stepped up.
huge
this year.
catch. Yeah. I mean, you don't do that. They're getting the ball back. Same situation. They're getting the ball back down 2 with plenty of time to move down the field.
Right.
So a lot of people are down on Tate because the offense didn't go out there. And
Right.
my thing is like, we could have had Jordan Travis and still only won like 31-15. Eventually, it's a tough game, man. Tough game. It's a rivalry game. It's
You
not
still
like
covered. Georgia Tech didn't cover.
No, Georgia didn't cover. Washington didn't cover.
So, I mean, what are we talking about? We're not saying one good. I mean, Washington was waiting at the end at home.
Yeah.
So,
They ended home.
but
With
that's a rivalry game. It's the Apple Cup.
it's the Apple Cup.
So, well, what the hell?
What are
we doing here?
schools are 200 miles apart, as Chris
Right.
Fowler noted like 5 times during the broadcast.
Yeah.
Broadcast. You can call it that.
Right.
Still waiting for my Rodemaker human interest piece, man.
They didn't have that. They had a lot on Max, though.
Yeah. I would have loved to see what kind of athlete Tate was when he was in junior high.
Right.
Or what Tate's dad did when he was in his playing days. Holly.
You get a portal, man. So, like, the transfer portal, you think Riley Leonard's out at Duke?
Yeah. That's already talked
You can
about.
just go right away. Is he if he graduate transfer, or it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. You got your one-time waiver. I would look for Tulane's Michael Pratt to probably transfer to Miami, maybe Auburn. I don't know. He's gonna hop in most likely. He'll be a high commodity. A lot of talk about Cam Ward, the Washington State quarterback, transferring again. I don't know how it would work, if he can grad transfer, or if he would need a waiver. He's already transferred once from Incarnate Word out to Washington State. I would like to take a swing at that kid.
Who's that?
Cam Ward. I would like Florida State to maybe look into getting him.
Think he'll be in the transfer portal?
I do. Washington State, the uncertainty around that program and what they're going to do.
That was it. 5-12.
Yeah, it really is, man. Losing Oregon State, losing Jonathan Smith to the Big Ten.
And that he went to Oregon State.
Yeah, that's an alum. That's one of your best players in your program's history. And he goes to the Big Ten, the school that came, or the conference that came in and wrecked the Pac-12. That's a double dose of kicking the nuts right there, man.
Here you go.
Yeah.
Well, the rankings will come out Tuesday. Don't be surprised when they say
People don't get mad. I mean, get mad, but
I'll be mad.
yeah,
It's it. And so that's what they're gonna do.
yeah. It's all for their TV, for their so they can push the championship matchups. But
Don't make any daggum sense, man.
nah, but I mean, dude, if you Knowles, you just win, and then
Man, you have a
worry about
championship to
that.
play for.
Yeah, for real. You haven't
Yeah,
split
yeah.
the ACC title since
There's no motivation
14?
needed. There's no motivation. There shouldn't be any motivation needed. You're playing for championship.
playing for a championship. Let's get it done, man.
Yeah. I mean, imagine Louisville winning the ACC this year.
No. You can go through all of this. You get through all of this. You didn't watch what happened against North Alabama, what happened to Jordan Trout. You did, like all of this just to lose to Louisville.
No.
I don't think motivation is going to be a problem.
Nor do I. I think the offense will hopefully throw a little more down the field.
Yeah.
Tate will relax a little bit.
I would like to find a way
up tempo
to get the tight end involved more in the middle of the field.
Right.
I don't know. We'll see. I tell you, Gelati for Louisville scares me, but we'll get into that when we start looking at them a little bit more. They're a really good team, though, man. Brian Baum's done a good job.
Yep. Anything surprise you in the NFL yesterday?
Browns getting whooped. That surprised me.
Yeah.
Saints losing. Saints, no, that didn't surprise me.
They didn't play Jameis.
No, they didn't play Jameis. That's why they got nothing but field goals.
Got 8 for 8 on the drive. And
guess what? Carr threw picks anyway. We're not going to play Jameis because he's going to throw interceptions. Well, your guys are already throwing interceptions. You know what he's not doing? Throwing touchdown passes.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
Paying him a lot of money.
Yeah, whatever, man. Still love you, buddy.
Yeah. Just boring.
Yeah, it is, man. It's boring.
If you're gonna,
it's a boring division.
It really is. It really is.
Still in first. Bad. Yeah, just so bad.
5-6. Well, hey, man, we're gonna talk to you right after. We'll do another show on Wednesday after the rankings. Then we'll talk to you next time right here in North Florida Sports Network.
Yeah, so our ride is here. We got a shuttle. Our